Welcome back to HLock Gaming. This is HLock. We haven't really got any new leaks. They did say that was probably going to change, and they'd give us, probably one bigger leak per month leading up to. I don't know if it's the beta or the release. I can't remember what they said, but they won't be as frequent now, partially because they had leaks planned out over time and we're kind of catching up to what they already had prepared. So it'll slow down a bit. But that doesn't mean there isn't still new information coming out about the game. If you watch they come out on Tuesdays. Their Simon usually just does it. Their Fateless kind of state of the studio / game, and then on Thursdays their podcast. So I'm gonna start doing I'll just call it, I don't know, This Week in Godforge. Cover anything that I think is interesting related to the game. There's definitely some stuff in the podcast that is interesting, but maybe not necessarily interesting to people who just want to know about Godforge. This actually, I have it paused right here. He does a bit of a character leak, so we'll see that in a second. All right, I'll let this play in the background while I go over some of the stuff he talked about. The stuff that's playing in the background will be sort of the new character reveal. So take a look at that. The things he mentioned is they want to finish the opening cinematic by the end of January. Related to that, he wants to have the beta at the end of Q1, so March is the end of Q1. So I assume they want to have that ready for the beta so people can see it. So there'll be 100 playable characters. He didn't really say if they're going to sort of break up, you know, have people test the beginning and then people test mid or end game stuff, so you sort of get a boosted account. He made it seem more like they wanted this session to really test the sort of beginning of the game, because he mentioned that, I believe, a few times, kind of flushing that process out. But yeah, 100 playable characters, not all, but a lot of the dungeons. Base mechanics will work, like ascending gear, things of that nature, so you can power up your heroes, not just get them. He did mention possibly having the roguelike in it. That'll be a mode within the game. I actually missed that, so I'm not sure what all they're planning on to have for that in Godforge, but that's very cool. We'll have to see when it comes out. I talked about people asking, will spending be allowed in the beta, and if so, will it carry over? As far as spending, he wasn't sure, but he did say if they have it, his idea now is kind of like you spend, let's say, $20 on something, then when the game comes out, they'll actually give you like $25 worth of stuff. So it's almost like a credit, but not a credit you can spend directly. They'll give you like a bit of a bumped up bundle. And if you play the beta, you'll have some extras coming as well. He did say something about idol breakers. So like when you're looking at a character in the rosters, they're working on those in champion design. I will actually scroll back to that since it's done showing the new character. So give me a second. Yeah, so here's the stuff he was showing when he's talking about working on idol breakers. So when you're looking at a character, sort of a roster spot. Yeah, I already talked about the new character reveal. That was the stuff in the background before this, that samurai type character. And he said they also just finished a round of investment, talking to people to get more investment. So they've been pretty busy with that. So that's possibly too why the leaks have slowed down a bit. You got to get money to keep going. Now I'll switch over to the podcast they did that actually just came out. So bear with me. All right, now I'll let the oh man, look what I'm doing to JKG there. Sorry, buddy. Everyone else looks fine, but you got the weird derpy face. I'm sorry. As the guest and the three people in the company, I can't make them mad. So sorry, JKG. You're gonna get the weird face, but I'll just let this play in the background as I talk about some stuff they went over as well. Oh, so they did talk about how JKG is the guy who always says he'd like to have that one sort of OP common or uncommon, and Sham did let it slip that there is possibly a beast character that is going to be very strong. So it'll kind of fill that wish that JKG is wanting. They also talked about how to stay consistent as a content creator and like ways they can help content creators. So that might not be necessarily interesting to everyone, but if you are interested in ever maybe making content, uh, some of this stuff Brad and Simon talk about is pretty good. Like how to set goals for yourself and stay consistent as far as progressing your content. You know, getting better at making it, but the lessons could be applied to other things, so it might be interesting as well if you're just looking to, I don't know, become a more disciplined person, let's say. What might they add? Simon essentially said nothing is off limits as long as they could get it to fit, you know, make it match sort of with the motif of the game. You know, JKG mentioned anime, and Simon said, yeah, we would do it essentially if we could find a way to kind of remake the characters so they fit within the game. You know, you couldn't do it the same art style because it just wouldn't fit. So it's good that they have those things in mind. You know, they're not just going to take money and add stuff to the game for a quick cash grab. Sorry, I cannot say that. Quick cash grab. There you go. Brad mentioned some stuff he'd possibly like to see is Warhammer or Mortal Kombat. And Simon said when he was talking to Lady H about the challenge they actually gave us, I don't know, a month or two ago now about what faction we'd like to see. She said stuff based on the Brothers Grimm, which obviously there's a ton of content there, so that could be a great one. Simon actually said too he's I forget if he said he's reading or listening to audiobooks of some author, and he was talking about who he has stuff on Atlantis. I thought that could be very cool. You know, if you don't want to add steampunk, because which they mentioned that in here, they don't have gunpowder in the game, so there is no way to really do steampunk stuff right now. Excuse me, but that could be a way to add technology but not have gunpowder if you did, you know, sort of the lost city of Atlantis. Then the question they always ask every creator on here: what character would you like to see added to the game? JKG said luchador, you know, like pro wrestling. He named a bunch of them. I'm not really super familiar. I'm not pretending like I didn't watch wrestling when I was a kid. I just haven't watched it in years and am not familiar with the people he was talking about. But Simon did seem interested, so I mean, it could happen. Obviously, they wouldn't do it in a bad way, as he mentioned. You know, they wouldn't just add anime if they couldn't make it fit. And also, related to that, JKG was mentioning either real wrestlers who are alive or deceased, so they'd be based on real people. So that could definitely be interesting. And that's what's happened this week in Godforge. So give it a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing here. I'm going to try and just do these on the weeks we don't get leaks, and even maybe the weeks we do get leaks, I'll do them. So thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.